Anybody, so I guess that's a no. Nobody remembers. Okay, so the first step then we'll have to write it down. So write this down. Step number 1 for substitution. Look for coefficient of 1. We all know what coefficients are, right? Yes. Abigail, what's the coefficient?
It's like if there's an x and then it has a 1.
So the number in front of x, that's what a coefficient is. Good. So we look for a coefficient of 1. Whichever letter has that coefficient of 1, solve for that letter. And I'm going to put an arrow pointing up to step 1 so you'll remember. We solve for the letter that has coefficient of 1. Once we do that, we are going to plug in other equation. Other equation. So those are the 3 steps for substitution. So looking at number 1, the 2 different equations, which letter has a coefficient of 1? X. Which one? The top or bottom? Top. Good. So we are going to solve for x. Okay? How do we do that? You're not going to talk to me today? So you're moving on to step 3. Does that mean step 2 is already done? Yes, x is already solved for. How do we know that? Good. Okay, so we're moving on to step 3. We're going to plug it into the other equation. Here's the other equation. We are going to plug this in for what letter? X. Good. So I'm going to rewrite this equation, except I'm going to put parentheses where the x was. So not changing it, I'm just rewriting it. I'm going to put parentheses where the x was. And inside those parentheses, I'm going to put what? Good. Alright, from here we just need to clean it up. And notice now we don't have an x. We just have one variable. So that's going to let us solve for y, since we only have one. So Amy, what would you do from here to solve for y? Alright, that's going to give us what? Negative 8. Alright, Caleb, what would you do from here then?
Combine like terms, so negative 15y minus 2y.
Would make
Negative 17y.
good. Madison, what would you do from here? Alright, so that would make negative 17y equals what? Good. So everybody, y is 1. So we've solved for one letter. We need to find x. So what do you think we should do to find x? Okay, so plug it in for y, but there's 3 different equations we can use. Right? Here's our 3 different equations, except this one's the same as this one in this problem. Would you rather plug it in the top or the bottom one? Good. Top will probably be easier. So instead of y right here, I'm going to replace it with what now? 1. Good. So x would equal negative 5 plus 3, which is negative 2. Very good. Now, if I was going to write my answer as a coordinate point, I would write it what? Negative 2, 1. Good. But you don't have to. Any questions about this one? So this is the same thing we were doing yesterday, except we're solving it a different way besides graphing. Okay, let's do one more together. So, Alex, which letter has a coefficient of 1 in this problem? Alright, so which one do you want to solve for? Okay, so tell me what I'd have to do to solve for x. Good, so x would equal? Good. Any questions about that part? Alright, Nikki, what do I do from here?
You plug negative 12 minus y into 2x minus 3y equals 6.
Very good. So I'm going to rewrite this problem, except I'm going to put a parentheses where x is. And I'm going to put what in the parentheses? Anybody? Good. Alright, Sierra, what would we do from here? Good, so that's going to make what? Good. Catherine, what do we do from here?
Combine like 10.
Good, so that's going to make negative 24.
Minus 5y.
Very good. Connor, what do we do from here?
Add 24 this side.
So that's going to make 5y equals, or excuse me, negative 5y equals what?
30.
So everybody, y is what? Very good. Alright, Toby, which equation would you like to plug it into? There's 3 different ones. So this is 1, this is 2, this is 3. 3. Good. That would probably be the easiest one. So I'm just replacing y with what? Alright, that would make what right here? Yes, because it's a negative 6. That's plus 6. So x is? Very good. Alright, any questions about these two? Do 3 and 4 on your own. I'll this up here. 3 and 4 on your own. Let me know if you need help. Alright, go ahead and compare your answers if you're done and not just homeworking. Then talk about your answers if people Alright, who can tell me the correct answer for Number 3. Anybody? Good job, Connor. So infinite solutions. Did anybody put all real numbers? It's the same thing. There you go. Can anybody tell me the answer for number 4? Everybody agree? Alright, which one do I need to go over? Both or just one of them? Can I say this? Both? One of them? Which one? 3? Okay, let's go over that one. Yes, we can. So, Connor, help me out with the first one. Tell me what you did. Which letter did you solve for?
I solved for Y.
And which one?
Wait, no, I solved for X.
Okay, and which equation?
The second one.
Good. Good choice. So tell me what to do to solve for X.
I added 3 to both 3Y to both sides.
Alright, and then what?
Divided by the negative.
Okay. Did everybody get at least that part? Okay. And then we plug it into the other one. So let me set it up and then you can help me solve it. So 9y plus 3 times negative 3y plus 6 equals 18. Alright, what do we do from here?
I distributed the 3.
That makes
9y minus 9y. Or
yeah.
minus 9y plus 18.
Okay, so then what?
And then I combine my terms.
Okay. So what happens?
And so it's 18 equals 18.
Good, because the 9y's do what?
Cancel each other.
Good. And 18, does it equal 18? Yes, true statement. So it'd be infinite solutions are all real numbers. What if this was like 0 equals 18? No solution. Good. Alright, everybody's good with that one? Alright, Sierra, help me out with this one. Which letter did you solve for?
A.
And the first one?
Yes.
Okay. So how would you solve for A?
I added the 3B.
Okay. And so you should have got 3b minus 22. Did everybody get that part? Alright, I'm going to plug it into the second equation. And then Sierra, if you'll help me determine what to do from here.
I distributed 4, which is 12b minus 88 plus 2b equals -4.
Good. Now if we combine like terms, we'll get what?
14b minus 88 equals -4.
And then we should do what? First add the 88, right? So we get 14b equals what?
84.
Good. So b would be
6.
good. Is everybody okay with that part? One little, like, if you forget a negative or a positive on this, it'll mess up the whole thing. When we plug b back in, which one should we probably plug it into? Anybody? Yes, this one, right? So it'd be a equals 18 minus 22. That's where we got the -4. And on these, y'all can check if y'all are right. You just plug it back in. And if it works for one of them, it'll probably work for the other one. So plug it back into one of them. If it works, it's probably right. Okay. Any questions about substitution? Y'all feel okay with that? Alright, now let's look at another form, elimination. So the reason it's called elimination is we want to eliminate what? Somebody said it. Alright, Darius, we want to eliminate what in elimination? A what now? I can't hear him. What do you say? Yes, a variable. Is that what you said? Okay. We want to eliminate one variable so we can solve for the other one. Just like here, how we got rid of x, or excuse me, we got rid of a right here. Same thing here. So to get rid of them, they need to have the same what? Do y'all remember? No? Okay. Let's write down the steps then. So elimination, here's the step. Step 1, get one variable, doesn't matter which one, to have same coefficient. And put in parentheses plus minus. I'll explain what that is in a second. Get one variable to have the same coefficient, same number up front. Then 2, add the equations. So that's the steps for elimination. The tough part is just deciding what variables to change. So let's go back. Does everybody have this written down? What is the coefficients for m? 1 and what? 7. What are the coefficients for n? Negative 1 and 2. Okay? We want to pick the smallest common factor, the ones that have the smallest common factor. So for example, what's the number that 1 and 7 can go into? 7. I'm going to write that up here. What's the number that 1 and 2 can go into? 2. Which one's smaller?
2.
So we want to make both of the ends have a what out front? A 2. Good. Something that they can both go into. Now, this one already has a 2, so we don't need to change it. But we need to make this be a 2, correct? So what do we have to multiply this by? 2. Do we want both of them to be the same sign? Why? Very good. So what she's saying, if I had a positive 2 right here and a positive 2, when I add them, it's going to make what? 4. But if I had negative 2 and 2, that's going to do what? Cancel them out. And that's what we're trying to do, eliminate one of the variables. Does everybody see that? So we always want the signs to be different, but the same coefficient. So again, do we have to change this one? Nope, it's already 2. We need to change this one to, or multiply this by what? 2. Good, let's do that. We have to multiply everything, not just the n. So tell me what the whole thing will be if I multiply it by 2. Good. Equals. Very good. Now we can add them. Now that both of these have the same coefficient, the n's. So what is 7m plus 2m? Good. What happens to the n's? And what's 9 minus 18? Good. So now we've canceled, we have eliminated the n's. So now it's really easy to solve for m. M's going to be what? Yep. And now to find n, we just plug it back into one of the originals. Which one do y'all want to do? The top one or bottom one? Top? Okay. So m minus n equals negative 9 is the top one. I'll just replace m with what? Very good. So tell me what to do from here to solve for n. Add 1 and very good. Alright, everybody good with that one? Do y'all like this way better or substitution? What? This is a lot faster. Y'all will be more comfortable with this in a minute, I promise. Alright, going back to the next one.
Wouldn't it be negative 9? Yeah, it would be negative 8 because the second line should be negative 9.
Yes, thank you. I made a boo-boo. So this should be negative 8. This should be what? 8. Sorry. Very good. Alright, let's look at the next one. So what is something that these two coefficients can go into?
6.
And these? 12. Good. So which ones do we want to change? The x's or the y's? The x's. Why? Smaller. Good. So I want both of these to become what? 6. Or actually I want the top one to become negative 6, the bottom to become 6, right? Just as long as, so that way they'll cancel out when we add them. We can make the top positive and bottom negative. It doesn't matter which one. So if I'm going to make this 2 a negative 6, I need to multiply it by what? And I need to multiply this one by what? Good. Everybody see that, where I got this from? Alright, so William, tell me what this top one would be if I multiplied everything by negative 3.
Negative 6x minus 12y equals negative 4.
Very good. Alright, Marilia, if I multiplied all of these by 2, the bottom equation, what would I get? equals, good. Alright, so Sawyer, when I add them together, tell me what I would get.
You would get the 6 ones would cancel out.
Good.
And the 12s would also cancel out.
Why wouldn't these cancel out? Yes, if they were negative positive, then they would cancel, right? But what's negative 12 plus negative 12? Good. And negative 54 plus 6? Good. So y is what?
2.
Very good. Alright. Brandon, which equation do you want to plug it into? The top one or bottom one? Top. And what are we solving for? Yes. So we'll plug what in for y?
2.
Very good. So that'll give me 2x plus what?
8.
Equals 18. Then we would... Very good. So x is... Very good. So sometimes you'll have to multiply both equations like we did here. Sometimes you only have to do one. It just depends on what you're making the coefficients, okay? So go ahead and try 3 and 4 on your own. 3 and 4. Let me leave this up here, sorry. 3 and 4 on your own. Let me know if y'all need help. You have a set point on this tomorrow, and I want you to be really good on it.
Miss Horton,
Yes.
did Julia Kiefer make the end?
No, ma'am.
Thank you.
Alright, go ahead and compare your answers. If you're still working, just keep working. Go ahead and talk about your answers.
Miss Horton?
Yes.
Hey, did Simon Schuster make it in?
No, ma'am.
Thank
I'm pretty sure that's you just said something you don't watch football.
Alright, anybody want to share their answer for number 3? Alright, go ahead, Catherine.
No solution.
Does everybody agree? No solution? Here you go. That is correct. Alright, what about number 4? Anybody want to share? Y equals what now? X equals? Very good. Everybody agree? Which one do I need to go over? Or do I need to go over either of them? 3. Wait, you said 3? Okay, you go. Alright, number 3. So, who answered that one? Catherine. So, help me out with this. Alright, which letters did you decide to cancel out?
I did the negative line.
Okay, so you multiplied which equation?
The top one.
By what?
2.
Very good. So she tried to get the y's to be the same coefficient. Why wasn't it negative 2? Anybody? Why didn't she multiply by a negative 2? Very good. So Catherine, what did you get when you multiplied this by 2?
4x minus 2y is -4.
Good. We didn't have to multiply the second one, so I'll just bring it down. Negative what? There we go. It's okay. Alright, when you add the equations together, what happens?
Both cancel out.
Good. So you'll have what on this side?
0.
Equals?
-2.
So this is why it's no solution, because 0 does not equal negative 2. Any questions on this one? Alright, was everybody good with number 4? Yes? Okay. I will not make you do the rest of these, but I will ask you to start on your homework, which is 5 through 12 from the worksheet you're working on yesterday. If you finish 4 classes up, let me know. I'll come check it and you can pack up. Make sure if it says solve by elimination that you're using elimination. Don't do substitution when it asks you to do elimination, okay? You'll have a checkpoint on this tomorrow and you won't be